Okay, thank you for your patience. We resolved that final issue. The voting is now closed. Give us just a moment. We will have the results of that race. And we will immediately move into that 3rd congressional district.
Okay.
What have they been doing?
All right. Live streaming is on.
Okay, let me tell you what we are going to do. Now that we have permanently closed credentialing, the binding business component is a little bit such that we can wait to give you the results on CD2 and start CD3 speeches so that we can move some things along. So we are going to immediately go into CD3 speeches, and we will make the announcements on the CD2 race immediately after those speeches end. So with that, Chris Herron.
Who's this guy?
Hey, are you with her?
Yeah,
She
no,
told
you're
me about
good.
that. No. I said as soon as you came back. Our son that was speaking, this is why I didn't tune now.
Oh, okay.
But we'll be
So
around.
here's what I bring to the table.
Really?
While everyone else tells
Are
you
you
what
sure?
they're going to do, I
By
ask
the way, big fan
that
of
you
her.
look at what I've done.
Love it.
Everybody talks about the danger of the debt, but I planned the first Tea Party in Utah in 2009 with David Kirkham.
Are you
We
from her?
protested $9 trillion in debt because I've lived through hyperinflation overseas, seen the devastating consequences, and warned about it ever since. That's why I vote conservative. I have the most conservative record in this race by grassroots Utah. I've been fighting against wokeness before it was called wokeness. In a public utilities meeting in 2009, thank you, I quoted Václav Klaus, the Czech president, a world-renowned economist. He said, in my experience, global warming is the new religion that has replaced communism. It caused a stir, but I understand the necessity of always doing a cost-benefit analysis. For 15 years, I've said that the only way out of our debt is to get back to the Constitution and become the world's greatest energy exporter. When oil prices fall, wars stop as our enemies have less money. If you are concerned about illegal immigration, then I am your candidate. I am the only candidate in this race that has fought against illegal immigration for the last 17 years. It's difficult. Racist, unchristian, uncompassionate, a xenophobe, a foaming at the mouth zealot, and that's just by the Deseret Media Group. All because I believe in the rule of law and that it's unfair to legal immigrants, the working class, and our children. I understand the threat of illegal immigration because I understand basic economics. I've studied world history, failed to protect borders, and great civilizations fall. I understand the Cloward-Piven strategy, overwhelm a rich nation's social services and bankrupt them. I understand progressives, Marxists, and that China has essentially declared war. Sadly, we aren't protecting our children. When COVID hit, I had a child in elementary, junior high school, a freshman at BYU, and one at U of U. All of my children were hurt by COVID restrictions. Anxiety levels are 4 times higher because we thought of our children last. These same children now face a predictable housing crisis. Many wonder if they will ever own a home. It's not rocket science. Bring in 70,000 refugees, nobody builds 30,000 units of affordable housing. Who pays for their compassion? The people that have seen their rent increase threefold, and our children. Policies matter. No surprise that Utah has the highest home prices for any Republican state, as Utah is the only Republican state that gives driver's licenses to illegal aliens. The Utah Senate recently voted unanimously to gut my E-Verify bill that I passed 14 years ago. We must hold those accountable for policies that hurt our children. The establishment in Utah fears me because I speak the truth. So So here's what I ask. Give me your vote, and I will make sure that federal and state leaders know that our current policies are unacceptable, unsustainable, and suicidal. I will protect your rights. I will be your voice in Washington, D.C. My name is Chris Herod. I humbly ask your vote. God bless America and the great sovereign state of Utah. Thank you.
Woo-hoo!
Hello, Utah. My name is Zach Wilson. I am 29 years old. I'm chairman of the Utah Young Republicans. I'm a private equity professional, and I am proud to be a convention-only candidate. From Landing to Bonanza, from Sandy to Springville, dozens of events, hundreds of hours on the phone. I have texted you all personally from my cell phone. That wasn't a robot, that wasn't my staffer, that was my cell phone. Is anyone besides me sick of these constant robotexts? You who were elected, you who are here for 15 hours or whatever it's going to be on a Saturday, thank you for allowing a young, optimistic conservative to run for the seat without gathering thousands of costly signatures. I will fight for you. I will continue to fight for you. I am running to inspire new voices and restore old values. First, I want to return our government's focus to limited government, federalism, and separation of powers as outlined by James Madison in Federalist 51. When these principles fail, we get an open border, trillions in debt, government overreach in the form of land, energy, and business. Part of the problem is most decisions are made by unelected, unaccountable bureaucrats. I have 5 bills on my website ready to submit on my first day in Congress. One of these is called Fed Pause. This would, if you could imagine, put term limits on unelected bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. How does that sound? Second, I am running to rein in our national spending addiction. Elder Neil A. Maxwell said that too many impatient politicians are buying today's votes with tomorrow's inflation. My generation will have to shoulder this with the associated interest rates. I studied finance at BYU, managed billions of dollars in New York City, LIBOR versus SOFR, PCE versus CPI. This is what I do. Omnibus spending bills are what we are not supposed to do. I am for transparency, balanced budgets, and single-issue bills. Speaking of investments, check out my Forthright Act, which would ban corrupt congressional stock trading. I promise not to own a single named stock as your representative. Third, I am running to restore a sense of American idealism. Half of our voters will be millennials, Gen Z, and Gen Alpha. If we cannot message with them, we are the Colorado of tomorrow. Do you want that? We need to message with them in a young, relatable way that only I can do in this race. We have young Democratic Socialists in the House of Representatives. We have young people protesting America and our allies across college campuses. It is time to send a young conservative voice back to Washington, D.C. My competitors understand my abilities and our momentum. One of the frontrunners in this race recently said, I view Zach Wilson as the future of this party. To him I say thank you, and to you the delegates I say the future is now. I'm going to close with this. President Reagan said, freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. Many think this will be my generation, but to you today, I say, not on my watch. Zach Wilson for Congress, may God bless you, the wonderful state of Utah, and the United States of America. Thank you.
Even though his sandwiches aren't as good as my mom's, sorry, Dad. I loved them because he wrote a funny rhyme on my bag about which day of school it was. I saved my favorite. It says, I hope today thundered because it's day 100. I'm the youngest in the family and I'm not always good at sharing things. But now that I'm old enough to pack my own lunch, I'm willing to share my dad with Utah because I know he's the right one for the job. Delegates, this is my dad, Stuart Payne.
I feel like an old man after having Zach and Bronwyn speak, so I guess I'll tell you a story about when I was 22 years old at basic training. With the sound of machine gun fire in the background, our drill sergeant asked, "Privates, when you hear that noise, what are you going to do?" When I put on the uniform, I knew I'd made a commitment to run towards the noise. Ladies and gentlemen, today the noise of dysfunction out of Washington, D.C. is deafening, and I am ready to run towards it. As a captain and leader in the United States Army, I took an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. When that document was drafted, delegates to the convention in Philadelphia had conflicting ideas. Despite serious disagreement, the framers reached consensus through negotiation, persuasion, and compromise that led to the greatest form of government known to man. Congress today is full of career politicians who fall short of the examples of Hamilton and Madison. These politicians suffer not from a shortage of conviction, but rather from an inability to persuade. Not from an unwillingness to fight, but from an inability to find common ground without surrendering toward principles. This leads to division and demands a new type of leader. My core values don't come from focus groups, donors, or polls. After 13 years in the military and 20 years practicing law and 6 generations of pioneer heritage, I know who I am and I know what I stand for. I stand for a balanced budget amendment to stop out-of-control spending. I stand for a secure border. I stand for restoring congressional authority to reduce the regulatory state that is killing our economy and energy independence. I stand for working across party lines to make sure that California and Arizona don't steal our water out of the Colorado River. I stand for supporting our allies in the cause of freedom. I stand for supporting our allies in the cause of freedom. Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea have coalesced into a very anti-American bloc which must be stopped. As Ronald Reagan said, freedom is never more than a generation away from extinction. It must be fought for and defended. These solutions are not unique, but require courage, perseverance, and a willingness to communicate with those that disagree. It is time for Congress to have the right type of leaders so it may begin to function for Republicans to govern. It is the only way to win and expand Republican majorities and to implement conservative policies and to create a stronger, safer, more prosperous America. Now, I have spent my life finding solutions to difficult situations, whether that was in post-Soviet Russia as a young missionary, whether it was fighting for our country in Iraq, or whether it was serving as Utah County Party Chair. I have developed a record of results. More importantly, through these experiences, I have developed a breadth and depth of skills that distinguish me from my competitors. These skills allow me to work with others, to build coalitions, and to lead people in difficult times, such as the ones we find ourselves today. This new type of leader is demanded. I am that person, and I ask for your vote. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna sneak to the back.
Rocky's coming out. Delegates, thank you. Such an honor to be with you today. Your unwavering diligence and commitment are the backbone of our party. My name is Mike Kennedy, and I'm a convention-only candidate running to be your next congressman. Today we stand at the forefront of a crucial battle for the heart and soul of America. A fight not just for our future, but for our children's future. As a father of 8 and grandfather of 9, I am sick of skyrocketing inflation. I'm sick of our monstrous national debt. that keeps growing because Washington is so broken, it can't pass a simple budget. I'm sick that our military, the finest in the world, is subjected to woke distractions when we should be focused on defending our nation. Veterans. And I'm sick of the Biden administration's open border policies allowing chaos, drugs, and violence to spill into our streets. Our borders need real protection, and our country needs real solutions. It's time for Washington to stop complaining and pointing fingers, and it's beyond time to solve these problems. It's easy to lose hope, but I know that a grim diagnosis does not mean a grim outcome. We can and we will heal America. My opponents talk about what they intend to do. I'll tell you what I have done. As a doctor, attorney, business, I've dedicated my life to solving problems. I don't give up on my patients or give up on America. I am unapologetically pro-life. I champion term limits, and I proudly voted to keep our historic and traditional state flag. I don't just talk about my support of the Second Amendment, I vote in favor of it. And as long as I live, I will always protect our families and our constitutional freedoms. When bureaucrats imposed COVID mandates, I passed legislation to end those mandates. When special interests demanded handouts, I voted to protect your tax dollars. Last year, I sponsored legislation protecting our children from harmful, irreversible transgender surgeries. In spite of threats and vandalism, I did not back down then, and I will never back down in Washington. I'll work to reform the Antiquities Act and place our land and resources where they belong, in the hands of Utahns. And after we fire Joe Biden in November, I'll stand with you and work with President Trump to secure our borders, achieve energy independence, and strengthen our nation like never before. As a physician for over 25 years, I'm uniquely qualified to champion free market healthcare solutions that cut through billions in wasteful spending and deliver quality care to our families. There is a lot of fraud, waste, and abuse of your tax dollars, and I know where to find it. I support market competition and free trade, but it's time to get more products designed in America and made in America. And when hostile countries like China try to cheat, steal, or threaten America, we will hold them accountable. As your representative, I will be a tireless worker and ensure Congress focuses on their duties before their re-election campaigns. And I will provide complete transparency and accountability. I'm not going to Congress to make my pocketbook bigger. I'm going to Congress to make your pocketbook bigger. Together, we will face the challenges before us head on and restore common sense to Washington and power to its rightful place in the hands of the people. My name is Mike Kennedy, and if you're sick of Washington's dysfunction and inaction, I humbly ask for your vote. Working together, we will heal our nation, and not just dream of a better future, we will achieve it. Thank you, and God bless Utah and the United States of America. Thank you.
Hello, I am Catherine Dolan. I've been asked what I bring to the table in this contest to represent our 3rd District in Congress. I offer you the services of a master budget cutter, someone with a proven track record of making the most of every dollar, who chases down waste and inflation like a bulldog. I'm a specialist in solving problems with more than a decade, with more than a dozen years of you. How, you ask? I'm the mom of one income family with 4 kids. Thank you. But I'm not alone. Every day, in every home in Utah, people work out their differences. In every household, in every business, we solve problems. No muss, no fuss, no partisanship, no hard feelings, just a lot of hard work. It's time for Congress to do the same thing. You want to know the impact of Joe Biden's inflation? Call any mom. What's happening with long-term care for aging parents? Ask a mom. Education, healthcare, the impact of Washington's tax policies. You know who to call. And this mom brings to the table years of experience as a senior policy aide for Republican senators. This mom is an expert in budget and appropriations process in Washington. This mom knows that if we run up credit cards and take out too big of a mortgage, we'll soon be headed for trouble. But what about a Congress that's racked up $34.5 trillion in debt? Just as our households would be drowning in interest charges, our nation is doing the same thing. $433 billion in interest payments this year alone. That's 16% of every dollar we pay in taxes. All going to interest because Congress can't do what households in Utah do every day. They can't balance the books. Our families deserve better. I've got one message for the folks in Washington right now. Time's up. Time's up for you to work together to solve problems. Time's up for you to act like adults. I'm not a politician, and unlike some others who will stand on the stage today, I'm not spending a small fortune to try to become one. I come to you as a proud Ronald Reagan Republican. Like Reagan, I believe in conservative values. Like Reagan, I believe in putting aside differences and getting to work. Like Reagan, I believe America is the indispensable nation and that our defenses must be strong. And like Ronald Reagan, I know that government is not the solution to the problem. Government is the problem. I'm one of you. I've been a Republican state delegate for more than a decade. It's time to send one of us to Congress. Send a problem solver to Congress. Send a budget cutter to Congress. Send a mom to Congress. I am a convention-only candidate. I'm counting on you, the delegates. I need your support and your vote today. I'm Catherine Dolan, and I'm ready to represent you. Thank you. God bless Utah, and God bless the United States of America.
That kid, I love those kids. They were the best kids. They win the award for the best kids up there. All right, Frugal Dougal. Woo-hoo!
I'm John Dougal, Frugal Dougal. Everything is broken. We all feel it every day. It feels like America's political institutions are crumbling. Crippling gridlock, soaring debt, riots, never-ending wars, increasing crime, and disarray at the border. It feels like our economy is just deteriorating. The cost of life's essentials are skyrocketing, and too many families can no longer afford to buy a home, put gas on the car, and then put food on the table, all while Washington wastes billions. It feels like the system is rigged against us, and it feels like society is upside down. What was once right is now condemned, and what was once wrong is now celebrated. We Republicans love to quote Reagan, don't we? But you know what I remember most? His optimism. Even facing adversity in dark times, he maintained his sunny optimism. His faith in this country and its people. Now call me crazy, but I share his faith. I share his optimism. Like Reagan, I sincerely believe our greatest days are still to come. Have you ever seen those stickers that say, do hard things? It sounds simple, but nothing is simple in politics today. Congress seems unwilling or unable to do the hard things that must be done. Congress has two main duties, budgeting and oversight. And it fails because budgeting and oversight is hard. But I do hard things. My passion to do hard things led me to become an engineer. I wanted to solve hard problems, to find innovative solutions to help people. That passion to do hard things led me to run for the legislature, where I became a powerful budget hawk. I didn't get government off your back and out of your wallet. That passion to do hard things led me to challenge tradition with the forceful vision that the auditor should be the taxpayer watchdog. No one has a better legislative record in this race than me. Being a visionary leader, championing issue after critical issue, like tax reform, transparency, election integrity, educational freedom, pension reform, and most importantly, budget accountability. No one has my oversight experience as auditor rooted fraud and abuse and corruption and bringing greater transparency to government. It's because I always drove a compelling vision and I did my job without fear or favor. What makes me different is I'm not just telling you what I will do, I'm telling you what I have done. Eliminating any guesswork when you wonder about what will happen when I go to Congress. Now, the Republican Party used to be the party of big ideas. Sadly, not today. Yet now more than ever, we need big ideas. Because big ideas propel us forward, inspire action, and shape the future. Big ideas have the power to unite us. We need big ideas to tackle hard things, all while staying true to our core principles. And together, we can dream big. Together, we can do hard things. Together, we can rebuild America as a beacon of hope and opportunity for your family and mine and every American family. Please join me in this fight to save America.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Case Lawrence, and I'm running for Congress. I come before you today as a husband of almost 30 years to my beautiful wife, Carrie, proud father of 6, grandfather of 2. I come before you as an entrepreneur who's built $1 billion business with over 5,000 employees. I know how to create jobs. I know how our economy works. I come before you as a teacher and mentor of thousands of young students and entrepreneurs who I've taught at the BYU School of Business. And I come before you as a lawyer and graduate of Duke Law School who understands our Constitution and the principles laid out by our founding fathers. Finally, I come to you as a lifelong Republican and committed conservative who loves his country and can't stand on the sidelines any longer. Our nation is at a crossroads. Forces on the progressive left are bent on destroying everything sacred and good about our culture and our prosperity. Now more than ever, we have got to send leaders back to Washington, D.C. who will stand and fight for the American dream. Now, as Republicans, as conservatives, we have to speak freely and honestly to each other for the good of our movement. And the reality is we have got to be smarter team players as Republicans. Our own caucus back in Washington, D.C., our Republican caucus, has been an embarrassment. It's been dysfunctional, full of drama, intrigue, discord, schemes to oust our speaker rather than getting things done. It has got to stop. Now, more than ever, we have got to send serious people back to Washington, D.C. I will be that kind of leader
and representative for the people of Utah. A leader who will have respect, who will have credibility and persuasion in that Republican caucus. A leader who will represent the 3rd District on a national stage with honor and with skill. A leader who will be more interested in doing and less in drama, more interested in results and less in politics. I will be that leader. And as that leader, let me tell you what my policy priorities will be. First and foremost, I will lead the charge order to our southern border by finally implementing a border that actually works, and by totally overhauling our asylum process. Look, legal immigration is a sacred part of our culture and our history, but that tradition has been tarnished by the chaos and anarchy that is currently in play. It must stop. Second, I will lead the charge to put our fiscal house in order. I will stand to end government giveaways. I will guard our national treasury. And I will be courageous enough to stand up for reforming our broken entitlements, not kicking that can down the road. I will also stand for getting away from continuing resolutions and omnibus bills and getting back to regular order in our budget process. Finally, as your representative, I will make economic growth and prosperity the priority it always should be. By unleashing our energy sector, unleashing American entrepreneurs and American innovation, and rolling back government regulation and federal overreach. My name is Case Lawrence. I'm asking for your vote right here, right now at this convention. I promise you, you will not regret. I will make you proud. God bless America. God bless the Republican Party. Thank you.
Gotta pitch that mic. This is incredible. It's so good to be with you today. I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much for being a state delegate and all you've done to vet us as candidates. I'm J.R. Bird. Like many of you, I want Washington out of our lives. I know how to stand up against the federal government. As mayor, when they tried to shut our city down in 2020, I said no and pushed back on COVID mandates. I'm proud to say that Roosevelt was one of the few cities in America to celebrate the 4th of July that year. When the left tried to defund the police, I said no and hired more police officers and increased their pay to show how much we need and respect our men and women in blue. I'll tell you, we reduced our violent crime by 37% in Roosevelt.
Wow. Woo! That's great.
Can you imagine how that approach would benefit our agents at the southern border? How about we show them a little love and support and start funding our own borders? I have another solution. President Biden, do your constitutional job and shut it down. We already have processes and laws in place, and when followed, we welcome immigrants with open arms. If you're coming illegally, without a visa or a passport, that means deport.
Woo-woo!
You know, the only thing more un-American than $4 a gallon gas is the U.S. buying fuel produced from Russian oil. I know how to fix that. I work in the oil industry and I own a business in the energy industry. We need a comprehensive energy plan that would unleash America's energy potential to include more drilling, more mining, and yes, more refining.
Are you tired of people in Massachusetts and Vermont telling us how to live our lives? Use our lands here in Utah? They may love protesting on our lands, but it's time to stand up and do what we do in Roosevelt and show them the road out of town. We all know the legislative process in Washington is broken. We need a little small-town common sense. As cities, we vote on one issue at a time. We need single-subject bills in Washington. I hear a lot about buses, minibuses, omnibuses, but I say we in real buses and send them packing. Our children will each owe $1,000 to our national debt. Does that sound like freedom and liberty to you? I challenge each of you to go home and tell your kids why you were here at the state convention today. Tell them you came to elect a small-town mayor who knows what pork looks like and where it belongs, and that's in a sty and not on the backs of our children. I have friends, family, and supporters that have waited a long time to give Washington the bird. Today, you can make it a reality. I ask for your vote to send J.R. Bird to Washington. Thank you very much.
That last but not least.
Good evening, I'm the last speaker and I'm going to make it very short. My name is Lucky Troy Bobo. I grew up in Sandy, Utah, and as a combat aviator, I have one thing I want to share with you. I'm here to propose a legislation called Defend the Guard. I'm against all the next conflicts unless Congress comes together and signs a declaration of war. This hasn't happened since World War II, and together we can prevent Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan from happening in the future. Thank you.
Woo, woo, woo! That was the best speech. I liked that. Woo, woo!
Thank you, candidates. We will now be able to proceed to the 3rd Congressional District balloting. After I open that, I will also announce the final results for CD 2. If you have had to go to the help desk before when voting, start making your way there. Right now, let's move this as quickly as we can. So with that, we will now declare the 3rd Congressional first round vote open.
Woo-hoo! Great candidates. Really great.
The code is coming up, just a moment. The 1106. Because I want to keep that election code up for a moment, I'll announce the 2nd Congressional District results, but we will not put it up on a slide until enough folks have had this 1106 and started their vote. So the 2nd Congressional District results are as follows. Colby Jenkins received 469 votes with 56.85% of the vote. Celeste Malloy received 356 votes with 43.15% of the vote. Total vote number is 825. Both candidates will advance from the convention to a primary on June 25th. So you can see those percentages and whatnot. But CD3 delegates, election code 1106. If you've had issues and have to go to the help desk,